Our Dyson vacuum is currently clogged. Now, I love this vacuum. I have used a lot of vacuums in my life, and this one is my absolute favorite. My husband just talked about buying another vacuum, and I said no thank you, because this thing will suck stuff up like you wouldn't believe. Our dog sheds really fine hairs. This thing picks it up. I almost want to just crunch up a bunch of cereal and try vacuum it up just to see how well it would do, because I know this thing would tackle it no problem. But right now it's clogged, and with the amount of work I do with this vacuum, it doesn't have a super big storage area, so I have to empty it pretty frequently. But even with frequent emptyings, it still tends to get clogged in a couple of different spots. If you have a Dyson like this one, I'm going to show you some key spots that you want to check and how to clean them out to keep your vacuum really sucking. Okay, so here we have our Dyson vacuum all laid out. We are going to look at some main trouble spots and see if we can't get this thing working properly. So your vacuum comes apart in several different places, so we're just going to kind of part it out right now. So the first is down here. You just press this little switch down and pull this out, and that kind of separates your head piece. Then up here, same thing, just press down on this button, and then you can remove this middle piece. So the first things you want to do is look straight down the barrel of this thing, make sure there's nothing in there clogging it up. For us, it's nice and empty, so that's a first easy check you can do. So that we can rule out isn't the problem. The next part of your vacuum you want to check is this area, the area where it stores everything you suck up. And so very simply, you just press this down and that will open it up. You can kind of clean out any little bits. One spot where things tend to get stuck is right coming out of this nozzle here. So you want to look straight in here, and you'll see there's a little kind of flapper piece that's right inside there. So if you reach in, you kind of want to make sure that that can move freely, because sometimes you'll see as you suck things up, it can get hung up on that door and stuck in there. So that could be your problem. Otherwise, this is pretty well emptied out, looks pretty good. Another spot that you might need to check here is your filter. So that is this thing right here, and it just lifts out really easy peasy. You can take a look in there, see if it looks like it's clogged up at all. And ours looks like it is pretty good. Filter doesn't look too bad. So that all looks pretty good. I don't think our clog problem is anywhere in there, which is pretty typical for me that this isn't the main issue. So we're gonna go ahead and set that aside. Now this is usually where I find that we are gonna be caught up. So first thing you wanna do is flip it over. It doesn't look too bad right now, but between my postpartum hair loss and the hair that comes off of our dog, this is usually just completely covered, completely wrapped up with hair. So just a regular pair of scissors does the trick, and I will just go along. As I said, there's not a lot here, but you can go along and snip whatever hair is on there. And sorry, this is gross, but yours will probably look much the same. So you just clean off anything that is there. The next thing that you want to check for is you want to remove this little piece right here. And if you have just a spoon, I have found, or a fork, you just put it into this little silver lock. You can see it shows you locking and unlocking, and turn it to the point. Put it in there and turn it to the point where it clicks, and this will come off. So this area in here, right in between the two, tends to get really clogged with things. So you want to clean out whatever's stuck in there, and then also right here where it goes into the main tube, that's where another spot is you can get a lot of buildup. So you want to clean out there as well. This one's looking pretty good there. And then you just slide this back in. You want to put it in this end first, the end opposite of where the little lock is, and then it'll go in really nice and easy. And push it down, and then just lock it again with your spoon or whatever you got on hand. Another area that can be a problem spot is right here. This is where it's getting its spin from, its thrust from is really right there. And that can get gummed up underneath this brush. So what you want to do is flip it this way. You'll see there is a big piece right here. This is our little kind of trap door that we open. So again, spoon or a fork works really handy. And you just twist, and then you can push it right out, pop it right off. So then the whole brush can come right off. And this might be an easier way, actually, if you're really gummed up with hair, instead of snipping hair off while it's in there, you might want to just take the whole thing out. So as we can see on here, it's really, really gummed up with hair right around this area. And so that will definitely be an issue that'll cause our brush not to spin. So I'm going to take my scissors and snip off. Just snip off all the hair that's there and there. It is amazing how much can get on there. So you just snip and pull away at that. So that's going to make a big difference for our vacuum right there. And so not only do you want to clean it off around here, but you want to flip it up, because a lot of times hair will get spiraled down around in there. So there's just a big wad of hair that I was able to pull out there. And that's where it's doing a lot of the spinning. And then the last area you want to look is inside this piece. You flip it, you can see this is the little kind of corkscrew thing coming out that your brush goes on, and that also can really get clogged with hair. Now this isn't too bad, but there's definitely some hair that's in there. And so if you have scissors work well. I think if you had one of those kind of dental scraper tools, that would work really, really well. But just something to clean out the hair that gets gummed up underneath there. And so this can be kind of a tedious process, just prying out and pulling out whatever is in there gumming up our works here. And it helps sometimes too if you reach in and just spin it a little bit. That can also help to loosen the hair up. It'll kind of unwind it if you do that. So just spin it, try one way and then the other, and it'll pull more hair out. And the final thing you can do to really get this thing running well is put just a little shot of WD-40 right in here where it's going to be spinning. It just really kind of helps grease your joints a little bit in there and makes it run really smoothly. So put it back together, you just slide this back in, put it on there easy. You take your little cap and that you're gonna set back on there. Again, it assembles really, really nicely, and just give it a twist, lock it into place, and then we will put it back together and see how we do. So tube just snaps on like that. Get our bowl out of the way, put this on like so. Let's fire up and see what happens. Okay, so my vacuum is working great now, and hopefully yours is too. After you've gone through and checked all those trouble spots and cleaned all the gunk out, it should be working pretty well. But if for whatever reason your vacuum still isn't working, then you're probably crossing into some sort of mechanical territory in which I have absolutely zero knowledge. So hopefully that did the trick and your vacuum is working well. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you watching our videos. We would love it if you would like and subscribe, and check back here every week for new video updates on farming, family, food, and fortitude here at the Rough and Tumble Farmhouse.